Hello students! Today we are going to finish up our widget unit. Today is widget 3A. We are going to create the object that you see here on the screen. Here's our multi-view. We all know that our isometric view goes up here in the right hand corner and it is always shaded. Down here on the bottom left corner, that is our front view. At the top is our top view, and then on the right side is our right side view. These three views here are never shaded. They are always just drawn like you see here. All right, so let's get started with our object. Let's take a look at our dimensions here, and we will see that we are going to make our base, which is right here. It will be 80, which we have here, 80 by 10. And then we're going to use either our information here or the information up here that we're going to extrude out 40. So let's start by opening up a new doc here so that we can start our creation. 2D sketch, XY plane, rectangle, line up our dots so they turn green, and then we're going to put in 80, tab 10, hit enter, hit your house to put it in isometric view, come over to 3D model, extrude, and then we will extrude out 40. Click OK, and we have our base of our object. So let's move on, and let's create this part here. So we are going to use the subtractive method. We are first going to make a cube to put on top of our base, and then we will subtract out the sloped area here that we see in the middle. So to do that, we're going to start with our 2D sketch. Our 2D sketch, let's click the the top. Let's move this over so that we can see what we're doing. Then we are going to use our rectangle. We're going to start in the upper right hand corner, make sure it turns green. We're going to pull this out. And we know that it is going to be 45 wide, and we want it to be 30 tall. Hit enter. Let's go to our 3D model. I'm going to put an isometric view so we can watch this pop up. 3D model, extrude, and then we're going to extrude this up 25. So there's our block with our cube on top. So let's go back and take a look at our part. So we see that we have the beginning part of our block. So let's go over and look at our dimensions again. So let's go ahead and do this back portion here. So we are going to work actually, which would just be easier. We're going to work on this side right here. So we're going to work on the back. So we're going to come over, as we see here, this is the part here that we are going to make. So it's very simple. We don't really need any measurements. We just know that we are going to use our line tool after we select 2D sketch, our line tool, and we're just pretty much going to draw lines and connect the dots. And then go ahead and put it in isometric view. Well, I'm not sure why that came up like that. But we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll keep working. Let's see what happens. So we know that we are going to flip this because we don't want it on the outside, we want it on the inside. And now that we have it flipped on the inside, let's take a peek over at our measurements and let's see how wide this little section here is supposed to be. So if we look around, we will see that it is going to be 10 if we look at our top view right here. So it's going to be 10. So let's go back to our parts. Let's change this to 10. Click OK. And now you have the back part of your object. So let's take a look here. We see that we are right on where we're supposed to be. So let's go ahead and let's do this circle part. So we know from our information here, we know that our cutout here is 30, which is also the dimension that we put in. We know that each side here is 10. So here's a very easy way that you can put in this circle part. So we're going to work on the back portion here. I'm going to work like this on mine. So I'm going to go on the back part and I am going to use my circle tool. So go under Sketch, select 2D Sketch, Circle, select your plane that you're going to work on, and now you want to take your dot and you want to find the center, and it will turn green as soon as you do. When you do, click, pull your circle out, and we know that our circle is 25. Type in 25, hit OK. I'm going to just turn this ever so slightly so that we can watch how it extrudes inward. So we're going to click on 3D Model. We're going to click on Extrude. When we click Extrude, we want to select this part down here at the bottom because we're going to cut this part out, just that half moon section. So we are going to actually flip it because we want to cut it out on the inside. And then we know that it is 30 inches. And we're going to type in 30, click OK, isometric view, and we now have that middle section cut out. So we have one more section to do, and that is this hole here. So let's go back to our drawing and let's take a look. So as we see from our drawing here from the top view, we see that we have 15. So it's going to be 15 up and 15 in is where we're going to put this circle. Then we see that our circle is going to be 10 for the diameter, and then we are going to extrude this and flip it outward so that we can, flip it inward so that we can cut that out, and we are going to go in 10 because we see down here that it is 10 and we're going to want it to go all the way through. So let's go back to our parts. We're going to work on the top view just to make it easier. We're going to do our 2D sketch, and then we are going to use the line tool and of course the construction tool. So we want to come up 15, make sure you keep your line straight, type in 15, you can tab or hit enter. I'm going to click and then I'm going to come over to the right. I'm going to put in, I'm going to try that again because I went a little crooked. There we go. So put in 15, hit enter. So now we know where we are to start our circle. Make sure you hit escape and do not forget to turn off your construct tool. You can click on circle, go to the end of where you just put that 15 inches in, bring your circle out, and we know our circle is going to be 10. Hit enter and then escape. So I'm just going to tilt this ever so much so that when we go over to 3D model, we go to extrude, and we're going to flip because we want to go inward, and we want to go 10 is what we're going to cut it out. Isometric view, and there is your object. So as you see from both, they are correct. Make sure that once you complete your object, that you put your object into multi-view and you put your multi-view shapes in the correct area, your drawings, your multi-view drawings in the correct place. Remember, the bottom left is the front view. And for reference, I'm going to flip this around so that you can see. That is your front view. And that is what you're seeing here. Your top view, we'll go back and we're going to put it on the top view. So that is what you were seeing drawn out up here on the top. Then the bottom right, let's get back to our part. And then our bottom right looks like this. And if you go back, then you see this here. Remember our hidden lines? This is all of the other information from the other parts that we have drawn. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.